Hi, you guys. It is January 25th, 2022. My name is Doris, and this is the Knit and Pearl Podcast, episode 224. A long time coming. You can find the show notes for this podcast at knitandpearl-doris.blogspot.com. The Pearl is Pearl. In social media, I am One Fine Cow, all spelled out, on Ravelry and Twitter. I am One Fine Design, the number one, on Facebook and Etsy. And I am Doris M. Smith, all lowercase and smooshed together on Instagram. This podcast has a Ravelry group, small and not very active, but we have a Ravelry group, which is the Knit and Pearl Podcast group. You don't have to remember a darn thing about this because in the down bar below there are links to the show notes, to the Ravelry group, I think, and to my Etsy store. But if you click on the show notes, at the top of the screen under the video is clickable links for the social media and for the Ravelry group. Without further ado, story of the week and stash enhancement, story of the last 3 months. I first want to say thank you so much for those of you who participated in knitting hats for the military. We ended up with 41 hats. Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry that it took me so long to record and say thank you. But life and low mojo. I don't even know where to start. My mojo was low. It just was not. I don't have any excuses. I didn't have mojo. I didn't have energy. Or I was in a foul mood and I didn't want to do a podcast, so that's that. So our house did have a bout of the Rona. I think I got sick Christmas and came home and downed a bunch of vitamins and emergency and had a fever just one day and then just felt bad the next couple of days. Went back to work on, I don't know if I went back to work on Monday, but Tuesday, I think. I don't remember, but I never tested because I thought as little effect that it had, I didn't think it was COVID. But then my brother got sick and he had a bad cough. He said he didn't have a fever and he worked every day. A couple days he took off and slept all day, and then Ted came down with it and ended up spending 3 days in the hospital, but thank God for his watchful protection. He's home. He's finally got his taste back. He's still not feeling the best, but he's with us. Work is fair. I still have low hours, and I might not have a job after February 14th if the mandates still hold. And if they don't accept my religious exemption. So that's going on. I also got can you see it? I got the Addy king size knitting machine for Christmas. And so been doing a lot of perusing on YouTube and seeing awesome things that can be made. I've yet to make a hat, but let me see. I think the first thing I made was this. Just a beautiful scarf. I learned how to close the ends. Very easy. It's a nice, I don't remember what the yarn was. Maybe it was Rainbow Classic. I don't know. But I love the way it did the little spiral thing. So that was the first thing I did. Took me an hour and a half to machine knit a nice long scarf. I made a little cowl, but this was some DK yarn and the machine had a few problems. So I'm trying to find the loopy loop, but I can't. So it's a nice cowl, close to that cowl. Another longer cowl. This is kind of a light worsted. There was also some problems there. If you can see it, there's a little hiccup there. It's like the trick is finding. This is some Karen party. It's a nice little keep you warm and be sparkly. Another cowl. This is with the rainbow yarn from Ice. It's just a little cowl. You know, there you go. Add a little spice. And I made a headband. This is actually Dollar Tree yarn. It's really nice. It's really a nice yarn, Dollar Tree. And finally, another long scarf, and this is Ice yarn as well. I wore this today. So, yeah, I walked out the door with 3 degrees weather. I know in other places it's below 0, but we haven't had a winter like this with really, really cold, freezing weather in a long time. So, yeah. So, that's about the knitting machine. And I just keep watching different tutorials on YouTube and thinking about what else I want to make. So, and here, I wanted to show you. I think I knitted 14 hats, and this was number 15. I couldn't do any more. I couldn't do any more. So this is still sitting, because I'd plan on doing 16 of hats on my own, but yeah, I was done. This will eventually be finished, but not right now. Not right now. What else? Went to my sister's the first weekend in December. Bought some yarn, which you'll see in the new whips. And let's get into the other faux. For as long as it's been, there's not many faux. And I can't remember. So it was October 29th, the last podcast. I don't remember anything finished that I'm not showing you. So oh, there was a poncho. I knit a poncho for one of my ladies at a facility that I visit. I had planned on, I told her her birthday was the 1st of November. And I told her I wanted to knit her a poncho because she was knit-worthy, because I saw that she wore this brown poncho. It was store-bought, but it was knit and it was pretty, and I thought, she's knit-worthy. Let me knit her one. Now to find the picture, since it's been a while. Come on now, where is it? Here it is. I made it out of the rainbow yarn, and it's a simple pattern I found online, and I don't know where the pattern is, but it's just a simple poncho. Okay, where is it? Where's the pictures that I took? There's what it looks like laid out. very pretty, very nice, and it looked really nice on her, and she loved it, so she loved it. The day I gave it to her, she wore it all day and maybe a couple days. One of my coworkers said, man, she really loves that poncho. So that's the finished object. So, new finished objects from just the last week or so. The first one that got my finisher going was this. I finally finished the I Never Promised You a Rose Garden colorway. This is 100% Targhee. It is from Yarn Geek Fibers. Of course, she's not dyeing yarn anymore. Darn it. Dyeing yarn or fiber anymore. So, there's the colorway. I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. And I got 310. It came out 312, but I figure I'll probably lose a little bit. But isn't that just all those colors? Yeah. I think it wants to be mittens. Should be making them for pretty soon, but I've got how many things? I've got, well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things on needles or hooks right now, so we're gonna hold off on that. But first finished object, 312, 10 yards. It's a thick and thin, mostly DK weight, DK light worsted, but I love it. Very pleased. And I don't have 2021 review because it doesn't make sense. 2021 was a S show. So, next finished object is a 3 triangle shawl. I used Barcelona Big in the colorway Rose. The first were just leftovers, and then while I was with my sister, I purchased another skein to finish, and I absolutely love it. It's big and roomy, and it is 40 rows. So, avalanche. So 40 rows. I looked this up. I'm trying to remember what verses for Psalms 40 that I had picked out. I think I'm going to read the first 6 verses, if you don't mind. Psalms 40, for my Psalms 40. 3 triangles shawl. Okay, and this is very small print, so be patient. Psalms 40, faith preserving in trial. To the chief musicians, a psalm of David. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of a miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my steps. He has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Many will see it and fear, and I will trust in the Lord. Blessed is that man who makes the Lord his trust and does not respect the period, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Lord my God, are your wonderful works which you have done, and your thoughts which are towards us cannot be recounted to you in order. If I would declare and speak of them, they were more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offerings you did not desire. My ears you have opened. Burnt offerings and sin offerings you did not require. My Psalms 40, Shawl. I probably need to this would be a wonderful prayer shawl. If you notice it comes around. This would be a wonderful prayer shawl pattern. There's a link in the show notes to this pattern if you have a ministry for prayer shawls. Okay. Next finished object. I'm doing it in order of finishes. Oh, excuse my hair. I finished my first ever pieced blanket. I have thought to start a piecing of a blanket and got maybe 2 or 3 blocks done and say I'm never going to do this. Well, I did it. It took me, I don't know how long. I love it. Each block took a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes to make. And so I made 24 blocks. Then after they were done, I would pick up and weave in the ends of the block and do the stars until I finished. Then I pieced them together. It's really big. I'm trying to see. It's 6 blocks tall and 4 blocks wide. It's beautiful. And I bordered it with some white. And I sewed it together. This is not even sewn together. This is actually crocheted together. If you can see on the back. It's single crochet together. It's wonderful, easy. I think that was one of the reasons that it's yeah, I'm going to do that because it's single crochet together. There's no sewing. It's wonderful. I recommend this project. This is actually was a tutorial for a baby blanket. It was an easy crocheted baby blanket, which was a tutorial on YouTube by Ophelia Talks. Links in the show notes to the pattern. It's wonderful. And the pattern calls for DK weight yarn and whatever hook. I made mine in worsted with, what hook did I use? I think I used, well, it's not here. This hook, which is an I-9 Boyd. Is it a Boyd? No, Susan Bates. Love it, love it, love it. And the last finished object, I know you've all been wondering, is my Feel the Burn sweater, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Caitlin Hunter. The yarn is, I love this yarn. I used a US 9 and a 7. So this sweater is a cropped, I'm wearing it with a dress. I'm going to come around so you can see it. I love it. I wanted it to wear with dresses. So this is like a sage green, but I couldn't find a brown dress. So anyway, I love this yarn. in the different colors. The dark brown, medium brown, cream, and taupe, I think. I don't remember what this color is. But I was perusing Ravelry's sweater patterns, and this one came up, and I'm like, oh my God. Bernie's mittens were the best thing to come out of January 20th, 2021. And I needed to commemorate that. I just finished this Sunday night, and took it down, blocked it out. And I love it. And I have something to remember. Bernie's mittens, if anybody, I know everybody had to, because they were everywhere, all over the internet. So that's all my finishes. My work's in progress. I'm still working on the Sunday coffee cardigan, but I haven't done anything with it. When I went home to see my sister, I purchased 3 skeins. Nope, not this. This is the Feel the Burn colorways. This is what color was this? Light taupe. Cream. This dark brown was called Coffee. And the dark brown, and the medium brown is brown. Yeah, I have a lot left over, and it's going to be some project. A lot of it. So, but I went home and I purchased 3 balls of this stuff. Which is Loops and Threads Barcelona Big in the, what is it? Amethyst colorway, to make another rug without color work. I started this when I finished this on Sunday night. It is, what day is it? Wednesday. No, did I start it Sunday night or Monday night? The 24th. Monday night. I started it. I finished this Monday night, and I came up and started this. No, I finished this Sunday night and blocked it out, but I started this Monday night. So there's the back. I am in the biggest part where the most stitches are. 2 days. Because I haven't touched it today. So this is 2 days worth of knitting. This yarn is considered a 5, bulky 5. The needles I'm using are US 10 Addies. I love it. This is no color work, because the color work, you guys know the tragedy of my original rug with the color work. It didn't go well, but my other rug in the rose colorway, I absolutely love it. So I wanted another one. I love these colors. And they just come out randomly. The colors just are random. But I love it. And I'm going to enjoy wearing it. So I'm still on the first ball. And I'm almost done with the yoke. which is the biggest part, then the body and the sleeves. So I got 3 balls, so that should be more than enough. Now I have other things. Let me get things out of the way to pull this stuff up. 2 more shawls that are crocheted. I saw this on Facebook and got sucked in. I saw the pattern and I'm like, oh yeah. This is called Lace Embrace. It's a tutorial on YouTube by Fiber Spider. It is actually the virus shawl that has been modified. Let me see if I can get it to come, because it's just beginning. It's been modified to come around the front. So this is what I've gotten done so far. It's going to be a wild one. It's actually the color of the yarn. I love this yarn, and it is the color Candy Stick Stash. I absolutely love this color. I kept buying it when I'd seen it, and I have 3.5 skeins of it, and yeah, this is about a skein, and I have 3 others, and I know where there's more of this yarn. So it's okay. So it's a virus, but it's a virus that's been modified to come around and set on your shoulders. Yeah, the colors are looking pretty ugly in this green, but they are absolutely gorgeous. And you know how I feel about the virus. So, yeah. The hook I'm using is my J Furls trim line furls. J. One of my favorite yarn hooks. So we'll see how that comes out. And the last current work in progress that I'm working on right now. If you notice, if you look back here, there's something missing from back there. It's because I decided that I was going to use this yarn for something else. So I started another. It's my Psalms 3 triangle shawls, because they're just so fun to make. Out of my Willow Yarns Denim Grace. It's been this is the 3rd thing it's been, and I think it's going to stick. I'm on the last color, which is what is this one called? Stonewashed? And I don't have the other. Acid washed. This is the final color. I had a little ball, because I had started that other shawl and it just wasn't something, and I wanted this yarn to be something, so I started this before I started the rose, my Psalms 41. But the Psalms 40 went so fast because it was bulky on a K. This is an I believe. Yeah. A Boyd I. Hook fell in there. So, there we go. It's beautiful. It's going to be a fun one to wear. So who knows what Psalms this is going to be. And yeah, around Christmas time, I went through my stash of finished objects, and everything that was not wool that I wasn't using and probably wouldn't use, I put in a bag and sent it with Louise to Catholic Charities, so to help somebody else stay warm during the winter. So I did that. That's all I have for you today. It was a long one because there was a lot to talk about. So break it up if you don't want to have all of this, but those are the stories for the last 3 months. Thank you so much for coming, and if you've made it this far, spending this time with me. I'm going to try to do a little better on my podcasting. So I will see you next time for the Knit and Purl podcast. I'm not going to promise when. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always being here. Those of you who are always here, thank you so much. I'll see you later. Bye.